Give everybody one more minute to join. All right. Welcome to today's Tech Talk, operationalizing TDIR, building a more resilient and scalable SOC. This is our Splunk legal side that applies that any forward-looking statements are subject to the Safety Harbor Act of 1933. I'm sure there's at least one person in this webinar today that wants me to read this entire slide. They get a lot of enjoyment of that, but unfortunately, we only have a limited amount of time, so apologize to that one person, but I'm going to jump right on in today. My name is Nick Hunter. I'm the principal product marketer at Splunk, and today I'm excited to be joined by Adrian Espinoza. He's our technical marketing engineer at Splunk. Adrian's going to be leading our demo portion of the Tech Talk today. But before we jump into that amazing demo that Adrian's going to do, I have a few slides to cover, and then I'll hand it off to Adrian. So today, keeping your organization secure is hard, especially when you're trying to detect, investigate, and respond to an increasing volume of threats all across a complex technology stack. We're seeing threat actors from criminal groups to nation states that are more sophisticated are using AI, adding another level of complexity to it. This is on top of meeting complex and evolving compliance requirements, which can be a full-time job in itself. Data volumes are skyrocketing, and this growing number of data silos as well. Then there's the ever-present challenge of finding and retaining capable cybersecurity talent, and keeping and retaining that talent is even harder inside with competing employments and just progression of the learning curve of the analysts and so on. And facing all of these challenges means keeping your head above water is often all a security team can hope for. So the realities of the security challenges have led to a staggering 95% of CISOs suffering at least one disruptive attack in their organization over the last year. This comes from the Splunk CISO report. CISOs are likely to face a major attack. 43% of them in this report said they were attacked disruptively at least once. 34% of them said a couple times, and 13% said several times. That's staggering. As a result, the top of mind for CISOs are defending against social engineering, OT, IoT, and ransomware they found. The stakes are high. Your decisions will impact how the business runs, says the CISO of a healthcare organization. If you make bad choices, you might kill the business. And so the business impact from these security challenges will impact the organization's digital resilience and lead to downtime. The cost of downtime is devastating. Splunk partnered with Oxford Economics, a global research institute, to quantify the cost of downtime for the Global 2000. In this research, the total cost of downtime for the Global 2000 was $400 million, with a staggering 56% resulting from cybersecurity incidents. As stated in the report, and this is a quote, cybersecurity downtime is the most expensive way to understand downtime in general. And that came from Luca Penati, head of IT and digital transformation at Care4. It's time to reimagine the SOC. At Splunk, we like to say this about building your SOC of the future. And what is the SOC of the future? The SOC of the future is a resilient SOC. Resilience is created from having the necessary functional components across people, processes, and technology. The goals of a resilient SOC are to deliver complete visibility, context, and collaboration in a clear path to resolution. This is meant from a foundation of comprehensive security, monitoring, and visibility, faster threat detection with context, accelerated threat investigation and hunting, orchestrated and automated response, and the ability to engineer custom detections to identify and contain threats quickly. All of which will be AI guided in some way moving forward. This will position your SOC operating model to deliver on risk management, governance, security metrics, and compliance goals for your organization. And so this brings us to the core element of Splunk's vision for the SOC of the future, and that's how all these complex elements are unified. The core part of the SOC of the future is unified threat detection, investigation, and response, or TDIR, in a single platform. A single platform for unified TDIR is critical to driving tool consolidation, which often leads to data and teams being spread across disparate silos, simplicity and efficiency, which is desperately needed for most security teams today. Our goal is to drive most security workflows without leaving the platform. And then cost savings through Splunk's platform by optimizing data management across the high volumes of data that you're dealing with. In summary, unified TDIR contributes to your SOC's mission and strategy, providing integration, efficient process execution, and cost savings. And now it's the moment you've been waiting for. No more boring slides. We're getting into demo time. So I'm going to hand it off to Adrian at this point.
Thank you, Nick. Let me start sharing my screen. Can you see my screen, Nick?
Yes, I certainly can.
Great. Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. As Nick said before, my name is Adrián Espinosa. I'm based in Costa Rica. I am currently a technical marketing engineer focused on security products for Splunk security products. Before that, I worked on security operations for more than 7 years as a SOC analyst and as a security engineer. So today I am going to share a demo about threat detection, investigation, and response capabilities that comes all together with Splunk Enterprise Security. So this is, let me just switch here just for a second. Yeah, thank you. So this is mission control. Mission control basically is an integrated security operations application that lets you triage, investigate, and respond incidents, right? So short words, this is where analysts are able to take a look at different type of findings and investigations they have pending to work on. There is much more to do with it, but in essence, that's how it works. I just wanted to give you a hint about this new specific feature, which is the side panel, which analysts can use to start filtering different type of findings and investigations. For example, they can create safe searches that populates different type of findings. They can just filter everything that it's owned by them, everything that is unassigned, or they can also filter by different type of risk scores, right? So as you can see here, we have plenty of findings in this case, but right now we are going to focus on this specific one, which is called attack tactic threshold exceeded over previous 7 days for user K Lagerfield at splunktshirt.company.com. So if we can take a look here, we can see different type of information. We can see the type is finding. We can have either findings or investigations. I will show you about that just in a moment. We have the different type of entities, which can either be users or systems. Then we have an aggregated risk score. And then we have the different type of intermediate findings that generated this specific risk rule. Also, we have other information such as disposition, urgency, status, owner, and different type of actions. So let's get into it. So this is the specific preview before we start with the investigation, where we can see the detection. We can see the original Splunk sources, or in other terms, the original detections that got this risk finding to be triggered. Then we have some threat intelligence information. Here we can see also different type of automation history that got generated by Splunk, which is fully integrated with Splunk Enterprise Security. And here we could use this specific place to provide more notes about what we're finding. But let's say that we are a SOC analyst that really don't know much about what is this specific detection, right? So we can just go ahead, click here, and then this will take us to the specific detection editor, where we can see different type of things, such as the search that populated the finding. We can see information such as drill down searches, different type of extraction, field extractions. Then we can take a look at different type of entities that will work for risk-based alerting. Also, we can see different type of annotations such as CIS, kill chain, MITRE attack, and much more. One exciting feature that we provide is that we can create different type of custom frameworks for everyone to use. Then we have the different type of time ranges. In this case, the detection will run every 10 minutes, and it will look for 7 days in the past. And then we have a few more details. But what I wanted to show is this specific panel right here at the left, which is Splunk detection versioning, which helps security practitioners to provide a way to go back to previous versions without having to interact with external resources, right? So for example, in here we can see, this is just going to take a moment, but it will be, we will be able to see like different type of versions. In this case, the green image here, or the green icon, indicates that this one is the one that is on production, which is really important. But then what if we want to compare side by side different type of versions? Because let's say that someone made a mistake and we really need to figure it out, a way to do rollback from a previous version. So we can go here, we can see this one is the one that is on. We can just hit submit. It will take just a moment to load. And then, let's see, just 1 second. See, great. So in this case, nothing has been changed. That's why we don't see anything highlighted. Let me just check if for the first version this was the case. Yes. So see, this, what you see highlighted here, is that we have modified based on this specific detection. This just does not take into consideration the SPL. It takes all of the fields making the detection possible, which is really, really cool. So that's detection editor, and that's just how detections are configured in a nutshell. Let's go back really quick to the preview, right? So basically, we discussed that these were the specific detections generating this specific risk finding. So let's just go ahead and do something first. Let's just assign this to a Splunk Cloud Admin, and then just change the status from new to in progress, and then just give it a try and start the investigation. So in here we can see the investigation overview, where we can see different type of different type of tactics that were generated by different type of findings, intermediate findings that we saw on the previous page. In here we can see the different type of annotations, activity from expire user identity, multiple suspicious file write extensions in several hosts, Let's see what else. Windows event log clear, which indicate us that there is definitely something going on here. So in order for us to proceed, or in order for analysts to proceed on taking specific actions, we have something, a new feature that was introduced on Splunk Enterprise Security 8.0, which is called response plans. So let me show you what a response plan is. So response plans are basically a way to guide analysts on what to do whenever they see a specific alert coming from a specific detection. Meaning that you will, or the analyst will not treat every detection or every alert the same. They will have to change their mindset to try to figure out the best way to tackle this down. But that's why we have response plans. If we have identified that the analysts have to follow a specific step line for a specific type of attack, we can generate a response plan which contains different type of steps, and then we can populate that as soon as any alert from a specific detection triggers. So let's just start. So let's just start by starting the specific step, which will, let's just run the specific search. The specific search will provide information about the risk object. If you take a look here, we're using the normalized risk object, which is the specific user for K Lagerfeld. If you take a look here, in here we will be able to see the different type of original searches that generated the specific tactic threshold finding. But what I wanted to share here with you is the following. We have these analytic stories that got populated based on the detections that generated the finding. We can see that we have some suspicious club ransomware and ransomware analytic stories related to this specific investigation. So now that we have seen this, let's come here and let's just start taking notes. Notes work for a couple of things. Works for security analysts who want to review the work that they have done in the past, or for SOC managers or any other security practitioners who want to make sure the analysts are following the right processes or procedures. So if we save this specific note, we should be able to see it in here for anyone who has access to this to see it. So after we have completed the actions within this specific phase, let's just end it, and then let's move forward to review IOCs, right? So within review IOCs, we have different type of steps that we need to perform. It says reviewed IOCs gather in the intelligence tab. If any of the IOCs does not have intel from our threat intel feeds, use attack analyzer for further enrichment. And then if malicious block, disable quarantine IOCs, okay? So let's go to the intelligence tab, where we can see, where we should be able to see three different type of observables. So let's start from top to bottom. This specific MD5 file hash contains some sort of cross-strike intelligence information or report, which provide us the chance to see that this is related to kill chain installation, malicious confidence high, and PDF capture failure 21. We can also see that the score name from CrowdStrike is malicious confidence with a normalized score of 3. Then if we move down the list, we have the specific user, K Lagerfeld, which does not have any type of intel, because this is just an internal user. in this case. And then we have this specific URL that was seen interact with the specific keylogger field user, which is really important. So now that we have analyzed and take a look at what's here on the intelligence tab, let's go back into, let's go back to the response plan. So since we didn't have any observables about the URL, let's use a Splunk attack analyzer connector for SOAR to detonate the specific URL to see if we can find a bit more information. So this is the specific URL. Let's just run the action, wait for it to end. Great. One step more that we need to complete is to obtain the job summary from the specific action. So let's just wait. So if you can take a look here, this looks as success. If we go here, this is what we need, the job ID. So let's go back, get job summary for, again, Splunk attack analyzer. So basically this is just retrieving the information that was generated by detonating the URL. So now if we click on view results, we should be able to see what was actually going on with the specific URL. So we can see a few things, right? We can see that the score from attack analyzer is 100, which means very, very bad. Also, we can see that the verdict is phishing. And then related to phishing brands is Microsoft Tech Support Scam, which can tell us that this is something very, very suspicious happening within this specific environment, and we will need to take actions on it, right? So let's go, now that we have run the specific actions, let's, again, for future references, let's go back and take an additional note here. File hash, which appears related to malware, user keylogger field, which initially triggered the finding, and then suspicious link, which was contained on a phishing email received by multiple employees. So let's just go ahead and save this for future references. And then just to finish this specific phase, let's just go ahead and end this one and continue with the last one, which is take remediation action or close incident. So let's just start this one just to finish this process. So since we realized that the hash was malicious, let's just go ahead and block the specific hash, which is the same one that we have here. Let's just run the action using carbon black response connector. Then let's go into looking for another action, which is block URL from Zscaler, which this is the URL that we found under intelligence tab. Boom, that's done. And then let's just, at the end, just to make sure there is no spread of a possible contamination, let's just run this action to disable the specific user, which will help us contain the specific threat. So take a look that with just a few clicks within the same screen, we were able to triage the alert, take a look at the intelligence tab, observables, information from CrowdStrike. Then we were able to follow specific steps to contain this threat. And then at the end here, we are using different type of tools such as Azure, Zscaler, Carbon Black, and more to contain the specific process, which will tell us that Splunk is very rich on its integration with a lot of other either security or observability tools. So that being said, let's just make a final short note here. Let's just add some lines here and then just hit save. Boom, we have all of the nodes required for this specific investigation. Let's just end this one, and then let's do just one more step. Before we go ahead and close this up, we can go into the automation tab where we can see all of the actions that got successfully accomplished or generated by where we were on the response plans. But what I wanted to show you from here is that even though we have pre-populated this response plan with different type of actions, we can go here into into the automation to run additional actions that we have already integrated with any connectors from different type of tools, right? So that's one thing. And then I mentioned at the very beginning of the demo that basically we are Splunk Enterprise Security is fully integrated with the Splunk SOAR, which allows security practitioners to craft additional playbooks, import them, or use just this specific connector to invoke those playbooks within Splunk Enterprise Security, which saves a vast amount of time without having analysts to go to any other, maybe the SOAR panel to run these specific playbooks, right? So that being said, we have just resolved this specific incident. We are going to change the disposition by true positive suspicious activity, and that's it, right? We have gone through all the processes, all the steps, all the actions, and taken all the necessary notes to make sure that this specific threat is contained, right? Which will give additional analysts or security practitioners to move forward on their investigation. So thank you very much. This is the first portion of the demo, but as a bonus track, I wanted to show you a feature that is still on preview. So let me just go back to another demo station, which is this one, right? So this is the same screen that we were seeing before, where we can see different type of investigations that were performed previously. But what about, again, if I am a SOC analyst who is very new into security operations work, and I really don't have much experience? That's why we have introduced right now the Splunk AI Assistant for Enterprise Security, which helps ramp out security analyst knowledge to help them be more successful, faster, and better at what they do day to day. So basically, this specific assistant provides a chance for security practitioners to interact with information within this specific search head or domain. So let me just give you a heads up of what we can do with it. So first, we can ask the assistant to provide us a chance to see what is available, right? So we can do multiple things. We can either ask the assistant to generate SPL based on a natural language prompt, which is really cool. Then we can ask it to provide us a summarization of the findings, which we'll see a bit later. Then everyone who has worked on cybersecurity operations or have seen a SOC operations day to day, they know, or you know, how difficult and how time consuming is to generate an investigation report. This is something that the assistant can help us do. And then also here on number 4, we can just have custom conversation responses, right? So let's just move forward. So again, let's say that we don't know anything about this finding, but we need to know a bit more. So the AI assistant, with just a couple of words, it is telling us everything that's happening, from investigating the finding to provide minor analysis and a bit more. Then we can go ahead and ask about the actions that were performed, because now we are a SOC manager who wants to make sure our SOC analysts are making every step right. But we don't want to go and take a look at every action that happened. So that's why the AI assistant is able to provide us with a specific information of every of every action that was performed right here. And then at the very end, we can also ask it to provide us a full investigation report from top to bottom, from telling us who investigated the alert, what steps were made, what's the affected assets or identities, and even when the investigation was generated. So basically, as part of the second portion of this demo, this is what I wanted to show. This is going to be soon released, but I wanted to give you a hint so you can get excited ahead. So thank you very much for joining this demo, and thank you very much for paying attention and listening to what I have to say. Thank you very much. To you, Nick.
Great job, Adrian. So back to slides for just a moment. Make sure I'm sharing. Correctly. So just a few more things. I want to cover some of the key takeaways today. Then we're going to open it up for question and answer. So as you saw, our Splunk approach to a unified TDR platform starts with flexibility. We realize not every customer will use the same deployment model, so we can offer our platform in the cloud or even on-prem. We also begin with acknowledging that we must be multi-vendor, supporting a large set of third-party solutions. You can check out Splunk-based to see all of our apps and integrations. Then our focus is about creating a unified analyst experience that enables a security analyst to work across the TDIR lifecycle, to manage workflows, collaborate, and even triage cases. Since security is fundamentally a data problem, and because of the increasing volume and complexity of data, any unified TDIR platform needs to support complex data management needs. This includes the capability of data routing, masking, and federation. This is why Splunk is investing heavily in data management and federation to be an underlying platform function to enable most complex data analytical use cases. Now, as you saw, Gen AI introduces a transformational opportunity to augment your staff as an assistant. That's why we introduced the AI assistant in enterprise security directly into analyst workflows to make the analyst experience more efficient and effective. Finally, we use the common services such as being able to understand assets, identities, applications within your environment, deliver real-time threat intelligence enrichment, and the ability to gain a clear view on risk exposure. That is the Splunk approach to unified TDIR. So what's next in resources? We still have question and answer coming up, so don't jump too fast. So after this, you'll receive a link to access the SecOps Handbook to TDIR. You'll discover how to pare down systems, integrate tools across your enterprise environment. Make sure you also register and to view the on-demand tech talks that have already taken place. We also have a couple of blog posts, and then we also have the Lantern link there for automating complete TDR lifecycle. Now we'll get to the Q&A. So let me pull up some of these questions. So So Adrian, quick question for you. For intelligence, does Splunk use Cisco Talos?
It does. Whenever any client gets a Splunk Enterprise Security license, they will get for free Cisco Talos integration, which will allow them to basically use any of the enrichment information from Cisco within Splunk Enterprise Security.
Okay, and then another one, I can answer this one. Is the AI Assistant a free add-on? Yes, AI Assistant is a free add-on. So Adrian, back to the AI Assistant, can they leverage the AI Assistant to lower false positives, and how?
For sure they can. So basically you can ask the AI assistant to analyze different type of trends within alerts generated by detections. So you can, so the assistant can help you identify different type of false positives happening within your environment. Obviously with the right prompt, right? You cannot do it by itself, but you can guide, or you can benefit a lot from its capabilities.
Looking for more questions.
Yep.
What would be your approach to entice a client still stuck on the old ways and feeling iffy about switching to a risk framework?
Yeah, if you're analyst, if you have like, I would say, how how much time does your analyst have to focus on education, to focus on critical alerts, to focus on different type of aspects other than reviewing general and basic alerts, right? So this is where risk-based alerting comes in, where by grouping different type of basic alerts into, as we saw on the demo, risk-based finding alerts, which will allow analysts to have more time to focus on what's important, on what's critical, and to deep dive into more critical investigations rather than reviewing 100 alerts per day. Believe me, I have experienced this in the past, and risk-based alerting really works.
What are some of the primary connectors in SOAR that are the most impressive for the SOC to use?
Well, that's a bit a difficult question to answer, because that depends on the use case that you're trying to accomplish. But we have many different type of connectors. We have many, for example, there is also a connector for Cisco Talos that you can use within Splunk SOAR playbooks to automatically enrich your investigations and findings. Then we have, I don't know, Virus Total. We can create different automations also with ServiceNow, meaning that, for example, every time ServiceNow or Jira or any type of ticketing system, right? So you can say, for example, if there is a new investigation open, please open a Jira ticket for that. You can configure or craft different type of playbooks for that matter. That's just in a nutshell, but I don't know, you can do multiple things with it based on your use case. I do see a question from Manny Rodriguez on the chat. We deal with PHI. Yes. So everything that you have and that you use and that you see within your Splunk environment, that stays within Splunk. No one else can see it. And it is the same with the AI assistant when it will come up. No one will be able to see the interactions that you have with the assistant, just you. That's it.
Are we able to pull KPI metrics on this platform?
Oh yeah, for sure. So for example, let me just share my screen really quick.
Bonus demo.
Sorry?
It's a bonus demo time.
Oh yeah, demo time again. Sorry, this is not the right one. So Splunk comes, this is one of the things why I love Splunk. Out of the box, Splunk comes with more than 100 dashboards. Dashboards that you can use out of the box or that you can use to customize to your needs. For example, we have these three main dashboards that I like to show. So this is a demo environment, so this might not look like super nice because there is not much information. But for example, within security posture, we can see findings from access, from endpoint, network, identity, audit, and threat. We can see findings over time. We can see findings by urgency, the top findings, and the top finding by source. So let's say that here we would like to see which of these specific IPs interacting with or generating findings are malicious. We can use Cisco Talos integration to find out that information. Then we can see the executive summary. This is great for KPI, which provide us the chance to see the mean time to triage, mean time to resolution, and how many investigations were created on the specific time frame, which is just 4 in this case. Again, distribution by urgency, findings by domain, and a lot more. Then we have SOC operations, which is similar, very similar, but just provides a different view for different type of panels. Again, right? So there is a lot of dashboards that you can use to take a look at what's happening, not just with your data, but also how your security practitioners are interacting with Splunk Enterprise Security.
Any other questions? Do you see any more coming in, Adrian, or?
Yeah, I can see. Maybe we can take one more question, which is, in your opinion, do you believe that EDR, endpoint detection and response telemetry ingestion in Splunk would really benefit, considering it can consume a lot of ingestion? You can use definitely EDR telemetry for plenty of things. I have created and I have seen several detections based on different type of telemetry data, which is really cool and really meaningful. And when it comes to consuming a lot of ingestion, by using data models, we can help a lot with that. But I'm not an expert on data ingestion and how it works and how it can be improved. But definitely, short answer is definitely yes.
Great job, Adrian.
Thank you. Then last question. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. It can use most threat intel feeds. Yes, even though Cisco Talos integration is out of the box and for free, whenever anyone gets Splunk Enterprise Security, we can integrate this with different type of security feeds, such as, I don't know, VirusTotal, Alien Bolt, I don't know, IBM X-Force detection. Sorry, I forgot the right name, but IBM X-Force Intel feed. It can be integrated with a lot of Intel feeds, security Intel feeds.
All right, I think we can wrap up. So
Yeah.
let's continue the conversation on community.splunk.com. We also have Splunk community office hours. We have Splunk docs located there. That's where you also find Splunk Lantern, which is how-to guidance and use cases for your specific industry. And then also ideas. You'll find all of that on community.splunk.com. And lastly, 3 reasons to attend Conf this year, Conf 25. You get to connect with thousands of Splunk users just like you. We do deep dives into technical content, so you can impress your boss with your new skills and also the new haircut. And then see real life examples of how others are using Splunk to avoid disruptions and downtime. That's September 8th through 11th this year, 2025 in Boston.
And we will be there, so we can get to say hi to each other.
Yeah, we can meet in person.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thanks for hanging around, and hope you enjoy your day. Have a great one.
Thank you very much. Bye.